So I'm 31 years old. Most of you here have more work experience than the time I've been alive. So I have nothing to teach you. I just thought I'd read you a letter written by my grandfather to the Rotary Club of Mumbai, and it was the first piece of advice my father gave to me when I joined the business. 18th May 1979. You have asked me what single factor played the most vital role in my life. An incident in my early youth marked a turning point and has stood me in good stead all these years. It's really difficult to talk about oneself, but without the background, the significance of the incident will be lost. I came to India in 1947 about partition, and after a great deal of roaming around, I settled down in Bombay in the year 1949. I started a dyeing and dry cleaning business, which in those days did not enjoy any social status, and as a matter of fact was looked down upon as a very low profession. I was therefore naturally not very welcome in social circles. Also, having been born and brought up in a very wealthy family in Punjab, I was not used to shop floor working. At the end of the year, my inadequacy to come up to the job was reflected in the balance sheet. The figures in red were more than those in black. Being a young man of only 20, I was very much disappointed and wanted to take up a job in one of the oil companies, which were very coveted in those days. I made up my mind, but approached my father and requested his advice. He said, "My son, you seem to have made up your mind. Have not come to me for advice, but I wish you well wherever you are." I was taken aback by his abrupt reply and told him with a shamed face that I'd like to abide by his advice. My father, wise as he was, told me he did not believe me, but he would not like to contradict me. He said before he could give me his advice, he wanted to ask me a couple of questions. He inquired whether anybody else had done well in this business, or was everybody a loser? When I told him that there were some people who were successful, he said, "My son, the fault is in you and not in the business. If you do not like this business, I have no objection to you leaving it, but only after making it a success. Today you seem to be running away from yourself. I do not think you can run away from yourself wherever you are. That way, I do not think you'll be successful anywhere. If you make this business a success and leave it, I will not be able to hold my head high and be proud of you. However, if you leave it now, I cannot disown you, but I can feel proud of you." Naturally, my decision was to stick on to the business, and his words of wisdom till today ring true in my ears. I try to see firm through anything that I take up, with a firm resolve that I should face all my hurdles and not leave things midway. With my kindest regards, yours sincerely, Ram Batra.
Rohan, if you have to write a letter for your grandson, how will the letter read?
I don't even have kids. I'm not going to have a grandson. But I would say that I would just reread him this. When I joined my company, we had a 60-year legacy. My grandfather started the business, the Batra Group. My father founded the first sportswear company in India, ProLine. We were the first brand licensee for a sportswear company, Fila. The advice that my father gave me when I joined was he took out the book, he printed it off, and he said, "Read this. Your Dadaji got this advice from his dad, my Dadaji. You should abide by this advice. Don't give up. And if you start struggling in something, don't quit until you get it right." So I think I just copy-paste,
Thank you so much. I think it's always inspiring to, hear about generations and I think traditions of knowledge and know-how. Tell me one thing. What is one thing that you would add on in your, in your journey? What is one thing that you have learned and you would probably want to share with us?
Free cash flow is the only thing you should look at in a business.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's hear it for Rohan Batra.